Some people go to therapy. I spend a ridiculous amount of hours in the studio not talking to anyone making miniature pizzas. Let me show you how I made them. First, let's grab some clay. We're going to be using my favorite Super Sculpey doll and Super Sculpey translucent and a little bit of yellow. And we're just going to mix it until we get a shade that we're happy with, the shade of a real life pizza dough. Then I'm going to go ahead and put it through the pasta machine to flatten it out. Now honestly, if you don't have one of these machines, it's all good. Use a bottle of wine, pasta roller, anything. Now I want my pizza to be thick crust. I want it very doughy. So I'm going to fold this on top of each other so I can get a thicker base. Going to cut out some pizza bases now using a round cookie cutter that's about 1.5 inches in diameter. Now that I have my base, I'm going to use this large ball tool to shape the pizza dough. Going in now with a smaller ball tool to really try to define the crust from the base. I use my fingers to soften up all of the edges and just keep working the crust until it looks poofy, if that makes sense. And because we are aiming for a realistic looking pizza dough is not smooth, so I'm going to use a toothbrush here and just slightly dab to give it some texture. When you're happy with the shape of your dough, let's grab some chalk pastel, and before baking it, we're going to color the clay. Remember not to use too much pigment onto your paintbrush, just a little bit at a time. It's easier to add than remove. When the color has been applied with the chalk pastel, we can now bake it for the first time. Your dough is baked, you have a hard clay. Now, just with real life pizza, we're going to add in our tomato sauce. And I have these 3 separate colors that I mixed using liquid Sculpey. And I just mixed it with chalk pastel, so a red chalk pastel, an orange, and a little bit of yellow. Then I'm going to make it a little messy and paint some spots on the edge of the crust. Set your pizza aside and we're going to mix out some cheese. I'm going to break off little pieces of clay and then mix it in with liquid clay, and that'll give us sort of a cheesy string consistency. As you can see, it's almost like a cheese pull here. I'm going to slowly start mixing some into the pizza sauce and also making sure to get some on the crust. And once that's done, we're going to bake for a second time at 8 minutes for 275 degrees. Then we're going to add in some more cheese. Now here I have a cane that I pre-mixed. It's my pepperoni cane. This was done with about a variation of 10 different colors. It was a lot, but for now I don't have a tutorial on this because that would be a whole other long video. With the pepperoni slice, I'm going to use a tiny ballpoint tool and kind of work it so that it looks like the pepperoni is curled, because once it gets cooked in the oven, the pepperoni does start to curl a little bit up, and it'll make it look a lot more realistic. You're going to bake the pizza for one last time at 275 for 12 minutes. For one of our last steps, I am going to use a mix of yellow, red, and orange because we're going to paint in some grease. Here is where you'll see me painting in some light yellows, some oranges, some reds, just so it looks, it really helps to look at a photo of an actual real life pizza and just mimicking the colors of it. Really take your time and don't rush this, and don't use too much paint at once. When you're done painting the grease and the extra cheesy bits, let's now glaze the pizza with a gloss glaze, and it'll really give it that beautiful shine. It'll look oily, it'll look like it is pooling in the pepperoni, and it is just such a perfect way to top off your handmade pizza. And your pizzas are done. Look at them. They honestly look good enough to eat. I also made one where I cut off a slice and made a little pizza board. So cute. And I made one with a little monstrous pizza box. Takeout. I hope you guys learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Talking to anyone making